Leaving my corporate career after 17 years and then having to sell my services online felt really, really daunting. Now, of course, I'd had to sell my services before in job interviews where I was going for a promotion, but I was in a business where everybody knew who I was. To then have to go onto platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn and sell my services, it felt very salesy, very icky. It just didn't feel very comfortable. And so, if you're a woman exiting a corporate career right now, or maybe you've already left and you're in the online space, so you've started a coaching business, a mentorship business, a service business, and you're sat in that space of how do I now monetize my skills? How do I package up my experience and sell it effortlessly so that I've got a pipeline of customers so that I never struggle to make money in my business? How do I do that? Maybe you're in that space right now. And if you are, this video is absolutely for you because I'm going to break down for you in this video how I sold my services after 17 years in corporate without feeling salesy or icky or weird in any way. Okay. There were a few key learning points for me that I had to figure out for myself through a lot of trial and error and a few mistakes and yeah, a few sleepless nights as well. And I'm going to break it down for you in this video. There are 5 things that I'm really going to share with you as like sort of talking points that you will, I'm sure, be able to resonate with. And then I'm going to give you 3 very actionable things that you can do to go and sign your own clients. Yay! I know that that is what you want, okay? So, the first thing I want you to think about is packaging your experience, right? It is very, very common for women when they leave corporate to start to experience self-doubt around their transferable skills, to experience maybe imposter syndrome, maybe comparison. Maybe you are telling yourself the same stories that I told myself, which is, are they really going to want to work with me? Maybe I was just looked after in my old career. Maybe I only got promoted because they liked me or I was the best of a bad lot. Okay. None of those things were true for me and they are not true for you either. We just have to find a way to package our skills. Okay. So, what I want you to start thinking about is what is the value that I bring? What is the result that I can help somebody else to create? What have I been able to figure out that maybe other people don't know? Now, you're going to have to think long and hard about this because it's very, very typical that you think that what you know, everybody knows. But I promise you they don't. You are a very unique individual with a very unique set of skills, set of experiences. You know, when you look at your background, what is the journey that you've been on? What are the hurdles that you've had to leap over? What are the mistakes that you've had to make to now know what you know? Where have you been able to fail fast and pick yourself up and say, now that I've experienced that, I now know this? Where are you super, super credible? Okay. And I don't want you to be too humble about this. I want you to get really into what I call a brag fest, like make a long list of all the things that you know how to do. Because the first thing that you're going to need to be able to do in your business, if you're going to be successful, is package up your experience. And it is not enough to get out there and say, hey, I used to be head of customer services. Yeah, I know how to teach customer services. That's not enough. You need to think about packaging up that experience so that other people can access it. Now, that might look like coaching, it might look like mentoring, it might look like a workshop, it might look like a 12-month training program. You need to think about how you're going to package up your services, okay? The second big lesson that I learned the hard way was about my pricing. So, my message to you is do not price your services based on your old corporate salary. Do not price your services based on an hourly rate. Do not work out what your corporate hourly rate was and say, well, if I want to work half the hours, I will just charge half the rate. Or, some other, I've heard it done many different ways, but your old corporate hourly rate has got nothing to do with your business, okay? So I do not want you to use that as a gauge for your pricing moving forwards. What I want you to use as a gauge for your pricing moving forwards is the value of the result that you create. So taking that example that I just gave about you were head of customer services and you know how to teach customer services, you know how to bring in a customer service strategy and help a team to implement it. What is the value of doing that? Well, the value of doing that is felt in the retention of a customer, in the loyalty, in the customer lifetime value, in the potential for upsell and cross-sell. So what is the real true value of what you know and how you would teach somebody to implement it? And if they did implement it effectively, what's the value to them? Just the same as me when I'm pricing my skills, I don't think about my old corporate rate. I think about somebody's come to me to help them to build a sales strategy, to implement that sales strategy, to help them build an income of 20K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month. Well, what is that worth to them? Now, of course, I'm valuing pounds and pence, which is a little bit easier, but I don't want you to tell yourself the untruth that if you're valuing something that is intangible, like health or confidence or overcoming imposter syndrome, you can absolutely value those things with very, very tangible things as well. You know, for example, if somebody is suffering with imposter syndrome and you help them to overcome it so that they can go and do a talk at a conference on a big stage and not get any nerves and no blushing and no fear on the day, what's that worth to them? Well, that might be the reason that they get a new job. It might be the reason that they're confident to go off and write a book, you know? Like, what are the tangible things, the tangible benefits to being able to implement and execute on that result? Okay. So do not price your services based on your old hourly rate. Price your services based on the valuable outcomes that you create and make those outcomes as tangible as you can. Okay. And if you want to ask me about this, you know, I'm very happy that you reach out to me. You can DM me over on Instagram. My handle is at Rach Howarth. Please just get in touch, you know, and if I can help you out, I absolutely will. The third thing that was a big lesson for me, and I'm big on sales psychology, and this is a big piece of sales psychology, is you need to drop the word we. Now, I know in corporate, you've been taught to be very inclusive. You've been taught to speak to a group of people and to lead from within the group. Yeah. So if you've been a people leader, of course you have to, you know, lead from out front and, you know, be that role model. But you're also taught to be very inclusive and to use the word we. You know, we're in this together, team. What are we going to do about it? Our collective values, you know, like you work together as a team in corporate on the collective mission, on the vision, yeah, with shared values. Everything's about inclusivity. In the online space, when you need to sell your services, you need to drop the word we. So you cannot be showing up on your social media and saying, we need to be able to get this result because we don't. You already know how. So you need to speak as the authority, which means dropping we and using I and you. Okay. I used to be customer services manager. I know how to double your loyalty score on your customer satisfaction survey. You want to see more loyalty, more retention, more upsell, more cross-sell from your customer base. And I'm here to teach you how to do it. So using my business as an example, I would say you are struggling to sign enough clients. You need to work harder on your messaging so that you can attract and magnetize your dream client. And I have a formula to help you do that. So you need to drop the word we and move to I and you. You have a problem. I know how to fix it. Okay. So we're kind of like raising you up a little bit out of the masses. So there's you and your audience, you know, you and your community, and you can't use we because that puts you on their level. And we need to take you out and above their level to position you as the expert, to position you as the leader. They aren't going to buy from you if you are positioned as one of them. They are only going to buy from you if you're positioned as the leader. So you have to be above and beyond. Yes, that might feel a bit icky to begin with. You might feel like it's boastful or braggy, and you've been taught not to do that. As females, we've been taught to just sit and be a good girl and to not speak up too loudly, to not be full of ourselves, to not show off. But I promise you, if you don't do a little bit of showing off and you don't back yourself, nobody else is going to back you. So drop the we, move to I and you, and position yourself out of the pack, above and out of the pack, so that you are seen as the expert. Okay. It's a really big thing. It took me a while to really figure out what was going on because I knew I could sell, but I was using we in my messaging. And of course, it wasn't landing because they don't want we, they want me to show them that I have the skills and the expertise. Okay. So that was a really, really big thing. The other thing, which is kind of on the same note, I guess, as that point, is you need to swap humility for authority. Now, when I say the word authority, that might feel uncomfortable for you because you might think, well, authority, that's kind of a bit masculine and a bit pushy. Do I have to be loud? You don't have to be loud to be authoritative. You don't have to be masculine or pushy to be authoritative. What you have to be is clear. You have to be succinct. You have to be able to articulate who you are, what you do, who you help, how you help them, and to do it in a really clear way. And one of the big things that really helps to get you over this hurdle of swapping humility for authority is to leverage a proven system, a proven methodology, a framework. So, what I want you to do is I want you to think about what is the system, the framework, the method, the approach that you use to teach what it is that you do. Can you give it a name? Can you give it a logo? Can you create a graphic to really articulate what it is, to describe it? If there's 7 steps to it, could it be a 7-pointed star? If there's 4 parts to it, could it be a matrix, a 4-box matrix? Think about your methodology and use that as your authority leverage. Because when you use that as your authority leverage, it feels less to you like you've got a megaphone going, I'm amazing, I'm really brilliant, you need to listen to me. And of course, that's what you are saying. That's what you should be saying. You are an expert, you are an authority. But I know that it feels uncomfortable. And so I'm giving you this tip around using a method, a framework, and being able to give that a name that allows you to be able to, really talk about your authority, but sort of pushing that authority onto the method as well, and saying it's not just me saying I'm brilliant. I've developed this amazing system. So for me, I've got a 7-step sales system, a 7-step growth system that I use. There are 7 parts to it. I teach my clients how to follow that system so that they can hit 20K months, 50K months, so that they can build their business, scale their business, take it to the levels that they want to take it to using a proven system. It's the same system that I use. It's the same system that I teach the women in my mastermind. And it's the same system that I will teach forevermore because it works. So when I'm saying, hey, I'm really good at what I do, I don't have to, completely take away all humility and position myself as an authority. I can say, I'm good at what I do because I've developed this system. And when you follow my system, you're going to get a great result because all these other clients have got great results too. Okay. So swap humility for authority. And if it feels uncomfortable, make sure that you are also leveraging a proven system, a framework, a platform, an approach so that you can use that to really showcase your authority. Okay. That was point number 4. And point number 5 is you cannot sell to an empty room. So I want you to remember is, depending on obviously what stage you're at, if you've been building your business for like the last year, maybe you've already done this. If you are still in corporate, this is still on your list to do, okay? So you cannot sell to an empty room, meaning you have to build an audience. You have to network, you have to build a community. So what I want you to be doing is thinking about what content you can be sharing so that you can post it on social media and attract the audience that you want to attract. So you need to be able to speak into the problem that you solve, speak into the solution that you create, speak about your methodology and your framework, and do that in your content so that your audience hear your calling. And then when they are engaging with your content, when they are watching you on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, I want you to think about how you can attract them into a community with you. It could be a Facebook group, a free Facebook group. It could be a paid for Facebook group. Maybe that's one of the offers that you want to create. It could be a LinkedIn community. It could be a Telegram group, a WhatsApp group. It may be that you want to start a podcast, like invite people to join your spaces. Okay. I've got a broadcast channel over on my Instagram, which is like a private messaging channel, completely free. People can join it straight from my profile. And I drop private things in there, secret things in there that I don't share anywhere else. So that's an example of a community, right? So think about how you can build a community so that people can get close enough to you to get to know you. And when they can get to know you, they can really learn to trust you. And when they trust you, they'll buy your offer. Yeah, when you, as somebody that they trust, share an offer that solves a problem that they have in a powerful way that really articulates a solution that they need, you will be the person that they buy from. Okay. But you need to start by giving that sense of community. Okay. Really speak to your audience like they are part of your community. Make them feel valued, make them feel worthy, make them feel included. Drop things that are, like special offers, special saving. Reveal something behind the scenes to them. Make it feel like it's a private little secret club. People love to be in a private secret space with you, okay? So think about where you want to host a free community or how you want to give that sense of community, okay? So they are the 5 things. Let me just run through them. I've got a couple of notes in front of me, so I'm just going to read them out to make sure that I give it to you succinctly. The first one was package up your skills really, really clearly. The second one was do not price your offers in line with your old salary, price your offers in line with result. The third sort of big realization that I had was drop the word we and swap it for I and you so that you can position yourself as an authority. The fourth one was to swap humility for authority and to use a proven method or framework to help you do that. And then the fifth one is build a community because you cannot sell to an empty room, okay? They were the 5 really big lessons that I learned when I first started my online business. And I promised you at the beginning I would give you 3 very tangible, very actionable things that you can take from this video to help you sell your services, okay? So the first thing I'm going to get you to think about is the result and the offer that you want to sell. Very often I support women who come to me and say, my offer's not selling and I don't know why. And I say, tell me about the offer. And what I find out is that they built the offer the wrong way round. They built the offer by saying, I want to do this thing for like 10 weeks. I want it to be a group for 10 weeks and I'm going to do 10 weekly Zoom calls. And they make that the offer without really considering what's the purpose of it? What's the result that it gives somebody? What's the methodology that you're going to teach? What problem do they need to have before they join the offer for that to be the right place for them? So I want you to think about your offer like it's a solution to a problem. And that solution we call the outcome, the transformation, the result. Okay. So I want you to start by thinking about not how many weeks is your offer, not how many Zoom calls do they get. Think about what is the result that I want to help somebody else to create. What will your clients or client be able to do after your offer that they couldn't do before? So it might be that, I always say, what will they be able to be, do, or have? Yeah, what will they be? What will they be able to do? Or what will they have? So think about that as your result, right? Get really, really clear on that result and think about if that's the result, what's the problem that they would need to have for this offer to be the right solution for them? So think about the offer, think about the problem that you solve, the result that it creates, and really drill down on that and make sure that that is really what you want to teach. Okay, so that's step 1. So if you're at the stage now where maybe you've got an offer that is or isn't selling, but you're ready to create another offer, or you want to really sort of tighten things up and sell more of the offer that you've got, this is step 1. Get really, really clear on the offer and the specifics of the problem and how that problem feels for the person experiencing it. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, once you've done step 1, you can move to this step, which is ask yourself who benefits most. So from the result that you've created, yeah, we haven't even made an offer yet. This is just a result, yeah. From step 1, the result, who would benefit most from that result? Think about the person. Think about why they would benefit from that result. What is it that's going on for them right now? How does that show up in their life? How does it make them feel? Think about the specifics of the how. So think about, what tangible impacts does it have? What emotional impacts does it have? What impact does it have on them short term? What impact does it have on them long term? Yeah, like what impact does it have on their friends, their family, their loved ones? So it's not just about how it impacts them, it's about how it impacts other people. How does it impact their life versus their business? Think about everything to do with the person that you want to invest in your offer. So step one is what's the result? Step two is who gets to benefit most from that result. And then step three is what's included. Okay. So now that you know the result that you create and who's going to get the benefit from that, what is the method that you're going to teach? How many Zoom calls? Is it going to be delivered on Zoom? Is there going to be a community with it, a Telegram group, a WhatsApp group, a Facebook community? Are you going to give them access to a learning portal, some worksheets, some training videos? Like, what is actually included with the offer? Okay. And once you've got all of those three things, then you can get into giving your offer a title, giving it a strap line. So I often say that the title is like a short, punchy name. And then the strap line is a much longer one sentence piece of work where you are explaining exactly what that offer is. So, for example, I run the Infinite Abundance Mastermind. That's one of my offers, right? So, 3 words, Infinite Abundance Mastermind. But without a strap line, you don't really know what it is. You know it's a mastermind. You probably know what infinite abundance is. That's a result that I help to give my clients. But without a strap line, there's not enough like juicy, messaging to really make somebody want to go, oh, tell me more about that. So Infinite Abundance Mastermind is the title, and the strapline is the 6-month high level mastermind for women who want to, I think it's something like strategically sell out their offers and hit 100 to 200K a year, something like that. Yeah, so you can see it's one sentence, but it speaks into firstly what it is, a 6-month high level mastermind. It's for women who want to sell out strategically and hit 100 to 200K a year in their business. So all the right people can see that strapline and say, oh, that looks like it's for me. And all the bad fit people that would say, well, I don't want that. Firstly, I'm not a woman, or I'm already beyond 200K. That's not what I need right now. Or I don't want to learn how to sell. I know how to sell. It's, something else that I need. So all the people that aren't a good fit for it, they wouldn't read beyond the strapline. The strapline is like your gateway. It's that, oh, this is for me, or, oh, this probably isn't for me. Okay. So I've given you the 5 things that were the big realizations for me when I first started. And I've given you 3 very tangible things for you to work on. And those 3 very tangible things are get really clear on the result that you want your offer to deliver. Then ask yourself who gets to benefit most from that result, and then get clear on the deliverables of the offer. What is going to be included? Community, like worksheets, portal, learning portal. Think about all the things that offer would need to create, okay? There's another part to this video that I want to share with you, but I'm going to do that in a 3rd video for you. And if you missed video 1, you can go back and watch it. I will link it below this video for you. And the 3rd video is the number 1 block. I've trained over 9,000 women to be able to sell. Many of them have come from corporate. I've helped them to build 5K months, 10K months, 20K months, and to do that with relative ease. Now, I'm not going to say it's a walk in the park. There's usually some new things to learn, and that's okay. That's good. But in doing that, in helping over 9,000 women to build their business, I can recognize the number 1 block that most women will experience. And I'm going to tell you in this 3rd video exactly what you need to do to overcome it or sidestep it completely. Okay, so I'll see you in video 3. Hope this one's been super valuable. If you want to reach out and ask me any questions, my DMs are open.